So you're on the cusp of buying a C63 but undecided whether you should opt for the standard variant or the performance pack model. Let's see if I can help you out. Now, being a performance package owner for the past 5 years, I have sort of an understanding whether this has been a worthwhile investment or not. So I'm going to give you my insights into that, and also what do you get for your money and what is the extra cost. Well, I do have a spec sheet here of all of the things I have added onto my car, including the performance package, which costed £4,333. But what do you actually get in that package? Well, to begin with, you get a carbon lip spoiler, you also get a half Alcantara steering wheel, you also get red painted brake calipers as well. You also get front composite brakes, which gives you 6 kilos less of unsprung mass compared to the standard brakes, but we'll talk more later about those because there is a lot to talk about with the brakes. Under the bonnet, you also get a dark titanium grey intake manifold, some forged pistons, developed connecting rods, as well as a revised lightweight crankshaft, which saves you a weight of around 3 kilos. And on top of that, you also get 30 extra horsepower, giving you a total of 487 as opposed to the standard 457. But you're probably wondering, Nathan, is it actually worth the extra money? Well, luckily for you guys, I've done my homework. Okay, we'll start off with the half Alcantara steering wheel. And is it worth having? No. I think it looks great when it's clean, but it's for how long does it say clean is not very long. I mean, I cleaned this back a few months ago and a few bit of usage, and it's already got grubby and it starts to go a bit like leathery. It's not really nice. So if you are meticulous with your maintenance and you clean it regularly, then maybe it's worth it. But for the most part, I do not think I'll lose sleep over not having it. But let's say if you did want an Alcantara steering wheel, then you can take it to somewhere like Royal Steering Wheels, which are very known and reputable. And I've seen people online posting they've retrimmed their steering wheel for around £200 or thereabouts. So even if you didn't get the performance pack, you can still get the wheel retrimmed on a standard version for around £200. In terms of the carbon lip spoiler that we have here, well, I've seen places online sell them aftermarket for anything around £140 to £200, but the one I saw on Vogue Automotive was selling it for £141, which is the most OEM looking one. Right, now we're going to talk about the composite discs on the front. And I've got my iPad here because there's quite a lot to talk about, but initially, well, my discs are actually worn out and they are due to be replaced at some point soon. And I called up the main dealer to get a price for my front discs, and they said I have to get my discs and pads done together. They cannot sell me the discs alone. So the quote for the discs, including VAT and fitment, was £1,539. And if I was to take the parts away, the discs and the pads, and fit it myself, that would cost me £1,193. And on face value, that sounds incredibly extortionate for the brakes. However, I do have some positives for the brakes, and that is I am led to believe that these are the original brakes after 53,000 miles of use. And I've checked through all my paperwork and I cannot see anything that relates to my discs ever being changed. And I've got heaps of paperwork, but I've seen the front pad being changed, but not the discs. And I thought it was a bit far-fetched that the discs never been changed before. However, I went online to search on the forums to see if anyone else has had a similar story, and it does seem that at least 3 or 4 other people said I've had about 30 to 40 to even 60,000 miles out of my front discs. And I suppose if you don't track it like they are meant to be used for, then maybe they do actually last quite a long time. So in retrospect, they actually do represent good value, providing that you don't track it. Now, what a lot of people do with performance packages, and myself included, they change to the 2-piece floating discs, which you can get from Brembo online anywhere, and it is basically a better disc than the composite disc. I think it's a bit lighter, maybe ever so slightly, but it also dissipates heat better as well, and it's better for track use as well as these are. But it generally is cheaper as well. I've got a quote online from GSF Car Parts. You can get it from many places, but at the moment GSF car parts are selling it at the cheapest I can find at around £610 for both discs. And you can also get top cash back as well if you use that, and get a further 4.2%, so you can get maybe around £25 back in cash back. And that probably will be the avenue I will be exploring. However, if you're not really a fast driver and you don't use this on track, then really I've seen people online saying there's not really much braking difference in the real world, if not any, if on the public road. So you're probably better off with the standard discs if you're not intending to track this or do lots of fast road driving, because you can't really do that on the public road anyway. So if you get the standard discs, I've seen prices online for around £200 on eBay for both discs. So in retrospect, really what I'm saying is, if you don't use the track, you're probably better off with the standard discs. On the other hand though, I do think that the floating discs do look really good, and they do wear probably a lot longer than the standard discs do too. We also have red painted calipers, which is something to think about, but it costs around maybe £200 to get it done aftermarket, so I'll leave that up to you. In terms of the uprated internals that you get on the performance package, well, I don't think it's necessary, because there are multiple people on the C63 forums who have supercharged their C63 with the standard block and have had no issues at all. Then if we talk about the extra 30 horsepower we get on the performance package, well, I think that extra 30 horsepower would be negligible with legal speeds at best, so I don't think it's really worthwhile. What I do think is probably more worthwhile is getting your car tuned at somewhere like MSL, where they can do a simple ECU tune and you get a lot more power for it. I think I got around 524 horsepower and also quite a significant torque gain. And it's not just a power increase, which is the only positive, as you also get better gear changes and better throttle response as well, as the throttle bodies are opened up a lot more. Right, so I've done some man maths and I've come to the conclusion that you could probably make your own performance package cheaper than it is to buy a performance package. So let me go through the costs with you. So to start with, I've got my iPad here. You can get your discs, the two-piece floating discs that I talked about earlier, for around £610. You can get your caliper paint for around £200. You can get your carbon lip spoiler for about £141. And then if you wanted the extra power, you can get like at front with the 487 horsepower, well, forget about it. You're better off with a map if you want extra power. And that comes to a total of around, maybe around £500 to get a remap from MSL. Then if we add the wheel retrim, that's around £200. So these are all ballpark figures. These can obviously change over time, but these are the sort of figures that I've dug out from online, and this is what I've come to a conclusion of. And then when you add all those things together, you come to a total of around £1,650. And then when I looked on Auto Trader to compare prices of a normal C63 compared to a performance package C63, the prices, I say, generally are around 2k premium for a performance package. I mean, that's not always going to be the case, but from what I've seen over the years, it's always been around a £2,000 to £3,000 premium. So effectively what I'm saying is you could probably save maybe £350, if not more, for your C63 to just do it yourself and basically just disregard the performance package, because I just don't think it represents the most amount of money, unless you just want the added convenience of having it all done already. However, if we do take off the two-piece floating discs and replace it with the standard discs, well, you'll be paying £400 or so less. And people have already vouched that the standard discs are more than good enough for everyday use. So that, in retrospect, what you would be paying then would be around £1,250 for, I'd say, a budget performance package. And on top of that, it also saves you money on unexpected bills or extra stops at the petrol station. So what exactly is my final verdict, and what would I do if I was to do this all over again? Well, I'll just buy the standard one. I would just get the standard C63 and make it in a way that I would like it, and just buy the upgrades probably over time and make it a car that's really my own. But what would you do? Would you buy the standard C63 or would you opt for the performance package like this? Please let me know down in the comments below what your thoughts are, because I am genuinely intrigued. And if you have enjoyed this video, then please do give it a like, because it gives me a good indication of what you guys like to see. And if you do like C63 content, then please do subscribe for future uploads so you do not miss out, because there'll be plenty more to come. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye for now.